Very early on the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to look at Jesus' tomb. Suddenly, there was a great earthquake, because an angel of the Lord came down from heaven. He rolled back the stone and sat on it. His face shone like lightning, and his clothes were as white as snow. The guards were so afraid that they froze and couldn't move. But the angel said to the women, "Don't be afraid. I know you are looking for Jesus, who was crucified. He isn't here, he has risen, just as he said. Come and see the place where he lay." Matt 28:1-7. When we say in the Apostles' Creed that Christ descended into hell, we mean that after his death, his soul went to a place called limbo. This was where the souls of the just, people who had lived good lives, were waiting. 1. Christ did not go to the hell of the damned, but to the hell of the good souls. In the Bible, it was called Abraham's bosom, and St. Peter called it a prison. Today we often call it limbo. Souls in limbo included Adam, Eve, Abel, Noah, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, David, Isaiah, Daniel, Job, Tobias, Saint Joseph, and Saint John the Baptist. They all went to heaven when Jesus rose and ascended. 2. Christ went to limbo to tell the waiting souls the good news, that he had reopened heaven for mankind. He was brought to life in the Spirit, in which also he went and preached to those spirits in prison. 1 Pet 3:19. The souls in limbo could not go to heaven because Adam's sin had closed it. Only Jesus' death and resurrection reopened the way. The souls in limbo did not suffer pain, but they longed to be with God. After Jesus freed them, limbo for the just no longer existed. 3. While his soul was in limbo, Jesus' body lay in the tomb. When people die, their body and soul separate. Jesus' body and soul were separated, but his divinity stayed united to both. His body did not decay in the tomb. It stayed in the sepulchre from Friday evening until Sunday morning, when he rose. That is why we say he rose on the third day, even though it was not 3 full days. When did Christ rise from the dead? Christ rose, glorious and immortal, on Easter Sunday, the third day after his death. 1. Jesus had told his followers he would rise from the dead. He said, "Destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up." John chapter 2 verse 19. Before going to Jerusalem, he told his apostles he would die and rise on the third day. Matt 20:19. On the night of the Last Supper, he said, "After I have risen, I will go before you into Galilee." Matt 26-32. 2. Even his enemies knew he had predicted his resurrection. That's why they asked Pilate to seal the tomb and put guards there. They told Pilate, "Sir, we remember that deceiver said while alive, 'After 3 days I will rise.'" Matt 27-63. 3. Today, Christians celebrate Easter Sunday in memory of the resurrection. It is the most important feast, marking the completion of our redemption. Easter is celebrated on the first Sunday after the first full moon of spring, so the date can change each year. The Easter season lasts until Trinity Sunday, and during this time, the joyful word, Alleluia, is often sung. Why did Christ remain on earth for 40 days after his resurrection? He stayed to prove he had truly risen and to teach his apostles more about God's kingdom. 1. The resurrection is a true fact, and the Christian faith depends on it. St. Paul said, "If Christ has not risen, our preaching is useless, and so is your faith." 1 Cor 15:14. St. John, an eyewitness, wrote, "Jesus also did many other things not written here, but these are written so that you may believe Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God." John chapter 20 verse 30-31. 2. First, Christ really died. Many people, friends and enemies, saw it. A soldier pierced his side with a spear. Pilate was officially informed. His mother and the disciples would never have buried him if there had been any chance he was still alive. Some people claim Jesus only fainted and then recovered, but the wounds and loss of blood would have been enough to kill him. 3. Second, Christ really rose. On Easter morning, he appeared to Mary Magdalene and the other women. Then he appeared to Peter, and later to 2 disciples on the road to Emmaus. At night, he appeared to all the apostles. The apostles didn't believe the women at first. Even when they saw Jesus, they thought he was a ghost. Jesus showed them his wounds and ate with them to prove he was alive. Saint Thomas refused to believe until Jesus appeared and let him touch the wounds. 4. The Jews tried to bribe the guards to say the disciples stole Jesus' body while they slept. That was impossible. The tomb was sealed and guarded. Even if the guards fell asleep, the large stone could not have been moved without waking someone. Interestingly, the guards were not punished. 5. Christ truly rose from the dead. For 40 days, he appeared to many people, talking, walking, and even eating with them. He spent time teaching the apostles. One of his most important appearances was to 500 disciples on a mountain in Galilee, where he told the apostles to go out into the world and teach. The Gospels record 9 appearances, but Acts chapter 1 verse 3 shows there were more. Many followers of Christ later gave their lives to testify that he truly rose.